Aisha joining us now with the First Alert Safety Desk. Important message for student athletes. This is a warning from the FBI about sexual exploitation schemes.
Yeah, and we've talked about sexual exploitation schemes in other ways impacting younger kids, teenagers. This is specifically for student athletes who are impacted, and the NCAA is getting in on this warning because they're partnering with the FBI, talking about these cyber-enabled tactics that these bad actors use. And I know you talk about some of these things in your consumer alerts, but they're wanting to use images as blackmail, and that's that sexual exploitation part, against these student athletes, specifically in college. And the goal is to really just raise awareness so that they can protect themselves. And student athletes are often targeted, especially at the college level, because their exposure, their public profiles, and their status. So the FBI says it's been notified of several schemes, including, first of all, unsolicited text messages claiming an account will be disabled without a verification code as a text you could get. Also, unsolicited emails referencing something about a new login with an embedded link to click on. Obviously, you don't want to click on that, but the FBI says a legit platform or service will never request a verification code, temporary password, or PIN reset code, especially if you didn't do it yourself, of course. So a good tip, and this is a good tip for all of us, no matter what, is when setting that password or PIN, don't include that personal information like names, important dates, a birthday, anniversary, things like that, which you and I often talk a lot about too. The operation director with the FBI, Jose Perez, he put out this quote. He said the initiative is about making sure student athletes and anyone who may become a target know they are not alone and that help is available. Working with the NCAA allows us to reach these students directly with the resources and reporting tools they need before an incident occurs and after. So the big ask is from the FBI and NCAA is coaches, staff, anybody in the athletic department, pass this information along to any student athletes, and maybe even at the high school level as they're growing up into college level, so that they know that they can become a target to these scammers, and remind them not to click on any sort of links, don't open any documents. Of course, you want to decline any payment or anything like that. And there is a way to report that to the FBI, so we'll get all of that information onto our website.
Yeah, so important because so many young athletes are so active on social media.
Exactly.
And so, all right, thanks, Aisha. Important reminder there.